Welcome to the channel, 58 AI Bytes. In this complete DevOps course, we're going from absolute zero to hero. No prior experience needed. By the end of this series, you'll understand the entire DevOps toolchain. Linux, Git, CI/CD pipelines, Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform, cloud platforms, and monitoring. Everything is hands-on and beginner-friendly. If you're serious about landing a DevOps role or automating your team's delivery, this is the only roadmap you need. Grab a coffee, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next module, and let's get started. Here's the full roadmap. We start with foundations, Linux, and networking, because every DevOps tool sits on top of them. Then Git for version control, and CI/CD, where automation really begins. After that, we containerize apps with Docker, orchestrate them with Kubernetes, and define entire environments as code using Terraform and Ansible. We'll deploy it all to the cloud, and finally add monitoring and alerting so you know your systems are healthy. 8 milestones. Screenshot this slide. It's your checklist for the whole journey. So what is DevOps really? It's not a tool you install or a job title you buy. It's a culture. Traditionally, developers wrote code and threw it over a wall to operations, who had to keep it running. When things broke, each side blamed the other. DevOps tears down that wall. One team, one goal: deliver value to users quickly and safely. The method? Automate everything that can be automated. Release in small increments. Measure what happens, and keep improving. Remember the acronym CAMS: culture, automation, measurement, and sharing. Every tool we learn in this series exists to serve those 4 ideas. The DevOps lifecycle has 8 stages, usually drawn as an infinity loop. You plan the work, write the code, build it into an artifact, and test it automatically. Then you release a version, deploy it to production, operate the infrastructure, and monitor everything. And here's the key: it never ends. What you learn from monitoring feeds directly back into planning the next iteration. Under each pair of stages, you can see the most popular tools: Jira for planning, Jenkins and GitHub Actions for pipelines, Kubernetes for operations, Prometheus and Grafana for monitoring. Don't memorize them all now. We'll meet each one hands-on. Before touching any fancy tools, we build the foundation, and that foundation is Linux. The vast majority of servers, containers, and cloud instances run Linux, so the terminal becomes your home. You'll learn the file system, permissions, processes, and how to SSH into remote machines. Next, shell scripting, because DevOps is automation, and Bash is the duct tape of automation. Loops, pipes, grep and awk will save you hours every week. Finally, networking basics: IPs, DNS, ports, HTTP, and TLS. When a deployment fails, it's often DNS. I'm only half joking. Spend 2 solid weeks here, and the rest of the journey becomes dramatically easier. Git is non-negotiable. It's the entry ticket to every modern software team. Think of it as a time machine. Every change is recorded, and you can rewind anytime. The superpower is branching. You create a branch, build your feature in isolation, and when it's ready, you open a pull request. Teammates review the code, automated checks run, and only then does it merge into main. That merge is more than bookkeeping. In DevOps, a push to main is the trigger that fires your entire CI/CD pipeline. Learn clone, branch, commit, push, pull, and merge until they're muscle memory. That's 90% of daily Git. Let's make this concrete with an example we'll use through the whole series: a little food delivery app called Quick Bites. Your first task as a new developer: add coupon codes. Watch the workflow. First, Git clone downloads the entire project with its full history to your laptop. Then Git switch-c creates a new branch called feature/coupon codes, your private sandbox, so the main branch stays safe while you experiment. You edit the code, then Git add and Git commit save a labeled snapshot. Add coupon code support. Finally, Git push uploads your branch, and you open a pull request on GitHub. Your teammates review the code, the automated pipeline tests it, and one-click merges it in. That exact loop: branch, commit, push, review, merge, is what professional developers do every single day. CI/CD is where DevOps magic becomes visible. Continuous integration means every time you push code, a robot builds it and runs the full test suite. If something breaks, You know within minutes, while the change is still fresh in your mind. Continuous delivery takes it further. Every build that passes is packaged and ready to deploy, and continuous deployment ships it to production automatically. The goal is to make releases boring. No release nights, no crossed fingers, just small, safe, reversible changes flowing to users daily. We'll build a real pipeline with GitHub Actions in this series, going from commit to live deployment with zero manual steps. People imagine CI/CD is rocket science, so here's a complete, real pipeline. 15 lines of YAML that live right inside the QuickBytes repository. Read it top to bottom. On push is the trigger. Every time anyone pushes code, GitHub spins up a fresh Ubuntu machine. It checks out the code, installs dependencies, and runs the tests. And this is the gate. If a single test fails, the pull request is blocked and nobody can merge broken code. If tests pass, it builds a Docker image tagged with the exact commit ID, pushes it to the registry, and, only on the main branch, deploys it to staging. Total time, about 3 minutes from push to a running environment. That 15-line file replaces a full-time human release manager. That's the leverage of automation. Every developer has said it, but it works on my machine. Docker kills that sentence forever. A container bundles your application together with its runtime, libraries, and configuration into a single image that runs identically on your laptop, the CI server, and production. Compare it to a virtual machine. A VM drags along an entire guest operating system, gigabytes of overhead and minutes of boot time. A container shares the host's kernel, so it's megabytes in size and starts in seconds. The workflow is simple. Write a Docker file, build an image, push it to a registry, and run it anywhere. Master this, and you've unlocked the door to Kubernetes. A Docker file looks scary until you realize it's just a recipe card. 7 lines here. Read top to bottom, like cooking steps. From says which kitchen you start in. A ready-made image that already has Node.js 20 installed, in the tiny Alpine flavor. Worker picks your counter space. Copy brings in the ingredients list, package.json, and run npm install preps all the dependencies. Docker caches this step, so rebuilds are fast when only your code changes. Then copy the rest of the code. Expose port 3000 as the serving window, and CMD says what to cook when an order comes in. npm start. 2 commands at the bottom build the image and run it. Same recipe, same dish, on your laptop, your teammate's Mac, or a production server in Mumbai. 1 container is easy. 500 containers across 30 servers. Surviving crashes and traffic spikes? That's why Kubernetes exists. Kubernetes is a container orchestrator. You declare the state you want, and it works continuously to keep that state true. The vocabulary. A pod is the smallest unit, wrapping your container. A deployment says, run 5 replicas of this pod. Kill 1, and Kubernetes instantly replaces it. A service gives that moving set of pods one stable address with load balancing, and an ingress routes outside traffic in. Config maps and secrets inject configuration without rebuilding images, and Helm packages it all up for reuse. It's self-healing infrastructure, and it's the industry standard. Here's the magic trick that makes Kubernetes click. You don't give it commands, you hand it a wish list. This file says, I wish for a deployment called QuickBytes API, running 3 copies of image version 1.2, listening on port 3000. You submit the wish with 1 command, kubectl apply, and Kubernetes makes it true. But here's the important part. It keeps it true, forever. If a server crashes at 2 in the morning and takes one of your 3 copies with it, Kubernetes notices within seconds and starts a replacement. No pager, no human. Want to handle Diwali traffic? Change replicas from 3 to 10 and apply again. Want to release version 1.3? Change the image line, and Kubernetes rolls it out copy by copy with 0 downtime. Declare, apply, relax. Now, a name you'll hear constantly in enterprise job interviews, OpenShift. Think of Kubernetes as the engine and OpenShift as the complete car built around it. It's Red Hat's supported Kubernetes platform, and everything you just learned still applies. Pods, deployments, services, but OpenShift adds batteries, a polished web console, and the OC command line, routes for traffic, source-to-image builds that turn your code into containers inside the cluster, an integrated registry, and Tecton pipelines plus Argo CD GitOps built right in. It's also locked down by default. Containers run as non-root under strict security policies. Banks, telcos, and governments love it for exactly that. Learn Kubernetes first, and OpenShift will feel 80% familiar on day one. Imagine your entire data center, networks, servers, databases, Kubernetes clusters, defined in text files that live in Git. That's infrastructure as code. No more clicking through cloud consoles and forgetting what you changed. Every environment is created from the same code, so dev, staging, and production are truly identical. Changes go through pull requests, just like application code. The two tools you'll meet. Terraform provisions resources. It creates the VPC, the cluster, the database, using a plan and apply workflow you can review before anything happens. Ansible configures what already exists, installing packages, managing users, deploying apps over plain SSH. Together, they let you rebuild your whole platform in minutes. Let's demystify infrastructure as code with the smallest possible real example. 8 lines that create an actual server on AWS. The provider block says which cloud and which region. AP South, 1 is Mumbai. The resource block describes what we want. One small EC2 instance, built from a machine image, tagged QuickBytes API. Now the workflow, and this is the part to love. Terraform plan shows a preview. +1 to create, 0 to destroy, before anything happens. No surprises, ever. Terraform apply then builds the real server in about 40 seconds. Need a bigger instance? Change one line, apply again, and Terraform changes only what differs. And when your practice session is done, Terraform destroy removes everything, including the bill. 8 lines in Git instead of 20 console clicks you'll never remember. DevOps and cloud go hand in hand. This is where your automation gets real infrastructure to play with. 3 providers dominate. AWS is the market leader with the deepest service catalog. Azure is huge in enterprises, especially Microsoft shops. GCP shines for data, machine learning, and anything Kubernetes. After all, Google invented it. Beginners always ask, which one should I learn? Here's the honest answer, it barely matters. Pick one. AWS is the safest bet for job listings, and go deep. Compute, storage, identity and access management, networking, managed Kubernetes. Every provider has the same building blocks with different names. Learn the concepts once, and switching clouds becomes a vocabulary exercise. You've shipped to production, but is it actually working? Observability gives you X-ray vision, built on 3 pillars. Metrics are numbers over time, request rate, error percentage, latency. Prometheus collects them and Grafana turns them into dashboards. Logs tell the story of every event, centralized and searchable, so you're not SSHing into 10 servers hunting for a stack trace. Traces follow one request across every microservice it touches, so you can spot the slow hop instantly. And one golden rule for alerting. Page humans on symptoms users actually feel, rising error rates, slow responses. Not every CPU spike at 3 a.m. Alert fatigue is real, and it kills on-call teams. Let me tell you a story that shows why all of this matters. Friday, 6 p.m., the worst possible time, QuickBytes ships version 2.1. But it goes out as a canary. Only 10% of users get the new version. 5 minutes later, Prometheus notices checkout latency on the canary jumped from 180 milliseconds to 2.4 seconds, and an alert fires. 1 minute after that, before a single human has even picked up their phone, the rollout system automatically shifts all traffic back to version 2.0. Total customer impact: a few slow checkouts for 6 minutes. Monday morning, with coffee in hand, the team reads the trace, finds an unindexed database query, fixes it, and ships calmly. No 2 a.m. heroics. Boring, in the best possible way. That's DevOps working as designed. Traditionally, security was a gate at the very end, a review 1 week before launch that found problems far too late. DevSecOps shifts security left, building it into every stage of the pipeline. At code time, scan commits for leaked secrets, run static analysis, and check dependencies for known vulnerabilities. At build time, scan container images and sign your artifacts so you know exactly what's running. At deploy time, Scan your Terraform for misconfigurations and enforce policies as code. And at runtime, keep secrets in a vault, restrict network traffic, and watch audit logs for anomalies. The economics are simple. A vulnerability caught in review costs minutes. The same one exploited in production can cost millions, plus your users' trust. Before the roadmap, let me save you months by naming the 5 mistakes almost every beginner makes. Number 1. Tool hopping. Jumping from Jenkins to GitLab to Circle CI, finishing nothing. Tools are 80% the same idea. Pick one stack and ship one complete project. Number 2. Skipping Linux and networking. Most scary Kubernetes errors are just Linux errors wearing a costume. Number 3. Watching tutorials instead of building. Watching feels like progress, but only building makes it stick. One deployed project beats 10 completed courses on any resume. Number 4. Copy-pasting YAML you can't explain. It works until it breaks at the worst moment, and then you're helpless. And number 5. Ignoring the why. Tools change every year. The principles, small batches, automation, fast feedback, are what actually pay your salary for the next decade. Knowledge without a plan fades in a week, so here's your 90-day action plan. Days 1 to 30, foundations. Live in the Linux terminal, make Git muscle memory, understand networking, and build one real automation script. Days 31 to 60, build and automate. Create a CI pipeline with GitHub Actions, Dockerize an actual application, stand up your first cloud infrastructure with Terraform. Days 61 to 90, orchestrate and ship. Deploy to Kubernetes, package with Helm, wire up Prometheus and Grafana, add security scans, and finish with a capstone. One pipeline that takes a Git push all the way to a monitored, production-grade deployment. 1 hour a day is enough. Consistency beats intensity every single time. Certificates are nice, but a portfolio gets interviews. For projects, in rising difficulty. 1. An auto-deployed website. Push to main, and it's live on S3 and CloudFront 60 seconds later. 2. A 3-service app on Docker Compose, then migrated to Kubernetes. One repo that proves containers, orchestration, and Helm. 3. A one-command cloud environment. A Terraform module that builds a VPC, cluster, and database from scratch. Put a GIF of it in the README. 4. A monitoring stack in a box. Prometheus, Grafana, and alerting deployed by Ansible, with a screenshot of a live dashboard. Document each one properly. A clean README with architecture diagrams is worth more than 10 courses on a resume. And that's the complete DevOps journey, from your first Linux command to a fully automated, monitored, secure delivery pipeline. Remember the 3 big ideas. DevOps is culture first, automation second, tools third. The pipeline is the product. Invest in it, and every release gets safer and faster. And follow the 90-day roadmap, 1 hour a day, for portfolio projects, and you'll be interview ready. If this video brought you value, you know what to do. Like the video, subscribe to 58 AI Bytes, and hit the bell. Drop a comment telling me where you are on your DevOps journey. Next up on 58 AI Bytes, Agentic AI Transformation, Zero to Hero. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. See you there.